Okay, here we go. This is W1REX, and this is I guess you would call it Hot Cans Part Duex. My first one was a pretty bad. I had a really crappy setup, and half the cans were off the screen. So I built this whole contraption today to hold my camera. This is a brand new rig. Looks good. Okay, so here is the Humble Bumblebee tuna fish can. And a long time ago, in 1976, Doug DeMaw, W1FB was his final call. He worked in the lab at ARRL, and he used to go to work, and he'd take a tuna fish or sardines or whatever, and he would eat it at lunchtime. And he kept thinking these cans would make a wonderful chassis. So he came up with the Tuna Tin 2, and it was on the cover of QST magazine in May of 1976, and that sort of started the whole nostalgic thing about using food cans as chassis for QRP stuff. So here's a tuna fish can. This is what we call in the industry, seeing as how I'm a canner, I have canning machines out in my garage. This is a 307 can. If you measure from one side to the other, it measures 3 3/8, which is 3 6/16. It loses about a 16th in the fact that the can, the lid, here's a lid that's not sealed. Here's an easy open lid that has the pull ring. This little flap, here's a 307 can, and you'll see the flare that's sticking out on the edge. That goes together. Let's see if I can get that at the right angle. And when you put it in the canning machine, it flops this over and squishes it, and then flops it over again and squishes it again, and that keeps all the air out, keeps your food all nice and fresh. So it loses a little bit of the dimension. So a 307 can is 307 from halfway to that seam to halfway to that seam, and there's 3 7/16. So anyway, that was a classic can, classic kit, and I started kitting that way back 20 years ago. Over 20 years ago, I started kitting Tuna Tin 2s, and I guess my claim to fame was the fact that up here in Maine, we used to have a lot of sardine canning companies, and I first started to try to redo the sardine sender and seal all the parts in a sardine can. But when I started looking around, I found that sardine canning machines were just out of sight. They weighed massive. They were, like 6,000 pounds. They were huge machines. They were very rare, and there was one guy who had bought up all the sardine canning machines from all the canneries that went out of business, and he had them in this big giant warehouse and a museum. And he thought they were made out of gold, and he wouldn't part with one. But when I ended up with the Tuna Tin 2, I was able to find a sardine round canning machine, and I bought it for a paltry sum of $2,500. And I started putting parts inside the can and sealing them up and putting a nice funky label on it, and that's how I got my start with QRP canning. So in this case, here is the original Sea Sprite that I did way back in 2016. So this thing's been around for like 7 years. It's a little bit on the busy side. If you look at it, you'll see it's pretty close together. And this is not one from 7 years ago. This is a relatively new version of it. But you can see it's rather dense, and that makes for a little bit more difficult job in a build-a-thon, especially when you're trying to do beginners. And that's what this whole build-a-thon is all about, teaching you how to solder. And I don't really want all that density for the parts. So what I did is I put it on a bigger board and spread everything out, so there's lots more room to be able to work. And so this one, of course, doesn't fit on a tuna fish can, a 307 can. It fits on a 401 can. And here's a 401 can. You can see a tuna fish can fits right inside. So in my case, I've got a few of these cans, but I don't have enough to do the whole job. But see, that thing fits right on the can. So let's see, I have one that's already open here, I thought. Apparently not. Geez, I thought I had brought one up. Oh yeah, here we go. Oops. Well, I don't have a Swanson's. This is a, I gotta get back on screen. This is a Sam's Club chicken breast, chunk chicken breast in a 401 can. And you can see that board fits right on the top. When you pull the ring, eat the chicken, clean it out, and you got a really nice chassis for your kit. So that's what we're doing. Sam's Club works pretty good because it's a 401 can. You can get, here's a Swanson, which I recommended everybody go out and find because this is everywhere. Swanson's chicken. I found it at Sam's Club. I found it at Walmart, and I found it at a local grocery store, and I find it at Dollar General. So that's everywhere. So the other thing about cans is the fact that, you know, they do make convenient project things. So what I did is I have a series of boards. Here's 3 of them right here. Here's the Corn Challenge board, and you can see I've got a batch of Manhattan pads on the back, all etched in. This board fits on a canned corn. Long story about that one, but it's what they call a number 2 vegetable can, and this is a short number 2 can. This is Dole's Mandarin. Has a pull top, leaving that little ring inside, so this board fits right on top of that. So makes a nice little project, and you can, in essence, make any circuit you want with the Manhattan pads and mount it on a can, and you're in business. Same with the here's the Tuna Project board, which is a 307 board, and it fits on, I recommend Dole's Pineapple. You know, I have not been able to find a 307 tuna fish can with a pull top ring on it. So to go a 307 with an easy open, Dole's Pineapple is the thing to get. It's a little bit heavier can, but there's the ring from the pull top, and the board sits right on top. And same with the, here's the 401 project board. Okay, has a place for some connectors already, and on the back, of course, you got a big giant Manhattan field so that you can build any kind of project you want to fit on a 401 chicken can, and that's it. Now, what you have to do whenever you're working with a can is you first put the board on the bottom of the can and mark that center hole right there with some sort of a little nail or something, put a little dimple in there, and then drill a hole out there, because you're going to have to put a bolt through the hole from the top, and you go down through the hole in the bottom and put a nut in it, or you go the other way around, put a bolt from this way, go up through, and then put a nut up here, and that squishes the board and the can together, and you've got your mounted kit. Back in the old days, before we had these easy opens, you could get a tuna fish can and work it, but what happens is you end up with an opening that's got no ridge on it. So you get a 307 board in it, and of course it goes right straight to the bottom. So there was all kinds of goofy ways of opening these cans to leave a little thing for the board to sit on, and that's just a lot of work. So having a pull tab, easy open, just the board sits right on the top. And here's a couple of current cans that I get a lot of. My daughter became a vegetarian in high school, and she likes stir fry, and these are the only 2 vegetables I could put in stir fry. Vegetarian who doesn't like vegetables. but she ate water chestnuts, which in my estimation is, or my opinion is, like eating wet cardboard, because they've got absolutely no taste. Same with bamboo shoots. But I got a lot of those cans, and what I did is I bought what they call a safety opener, which is a wind around can, but it opens from the side, so it doesn't leave that sharp inside. Okay, it actually typically you can see a little thing around the edge where it cuts the top of the can off at the edge, so you can see the cans come out with there's a little bit of cut line right there, but nice thing. We've been eating these cans for years, and I've got hundreds of these things, and I put them in a big flat box, and I use them for doing parts and nuts and bolts and things like that. So, and of course you've got your big giant doles if you've got a big deep project that you want with lots of stuff inside. You can put a little battery down in there too, you know, and put your 307 board right on top. Nice way. So that is all I want to say about that. In our case, you need to go get yourself either a Sam's Club or a Swanson's chicken breast. Pull the tab. Eat your thing. I actually included a recipe. I have another recipe using chicken, and I just take it and drain it and put it in a thing and crunch up the chunks a little bit better. And I put in about I put in mayonnaise, and then I put in about 4 tablespoons of dill relish, and makes a really nice chicken salad sandwich. So anyway, I eat a lot of that only because I like to have cans around. So I eat a lot of chicken, canned chicken. That's my go-to meal when I'm just too lazy to make anything else. So, that was the other thing I wanted to make sure that you're aware of. If you do open up a can and recycle it, you know, to use it like our chicken cans, this ring in here is, in Maine we would call that wicked sharp. And that doesn't mean smart. That means it is wicked sharp down in there. And if you try to go clean that out, you can accidentally hit that thing with your finger. And I've sliced my finger many a time. So now I don't go anywhere near it. I put some, I clean it out with hot water, put some hot water and dish soap in there, let it sit for a while all the way up to the edge. And then I put a sponge in there and use a fork to swish it around and clean it all out. I don't get my fingers in those cans anymore. So that's all I got to say about cans. I love them. I got I got boards to fit all kinds of them. Oh, we got the lowly. Here's the lowly 211 can, which is the personal size tuna fish can. That goes into a 307, and the 307 goes into the 401. So you could actually make some sort of project where they nest like the Russian nesting dolls. Anyway, that's enough of that. Enough of that foolishness. That's all I got to say about cans. So get yourself a 12.5 ounce, right there, 12.5 ounce chicken. Oh, you can get this also in, well, Walmart had a huge, I got a picture of it, I'll post it on the site, but you can also get pulled pork and roast beef in the same size can. So if you don't want chicken, you can get something else, but make sure it's the 12.5 ounce. And if it's roughly right there, our board is 3.84 inches, which is what, 3 and 7/8, and there's the 3 and 7/8 right there at the rim. And 3 and 7/8 roughly, just a shy below 3 and 7/8. And there it is. So you're looking for something that's got that 3 and 7/8 opening. But 12.5 ounce meat products. They do make, this is a 401. They do make I think a 407, I think maybe. I'm not sure. Anyway, but Swanson's canned chicken, that's the best. And Walmart, Sam's Club. Oh, and of course Sam's Club is connected to Walmart, same company. So the Walmart section has 12.5 inch canned chicken in a Walmart brand. It's not Members Mark, but it's Walmart brand. Again, I'll post a picture of that. So that's all I got to say about cans. I hope you've inspired you to maybe make another can project. I got them. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.